have I no, would I? Yes.
See?
You have cleaned your outdoor trash can by hand.
Have I no, would I?
No.
Yes.
Would you? And
See?
so with a toothbrush.
No,
It's not
I would
that
hire
crazy.
someone else to do it because that's a service you can pay someone to come steam your outdoor trash can.
I wouldn't pay
And
someone
that's
to do
the
it,
thing
but I would do
throw
it
money at.
myself.
Is that not a thing you would throw money at?
I wouldn't ever clean my outdoor trash can.
You filthy beast.
I'm talking
Mine's
about the
starting to
outside, not the
smell.
inside.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it's not happening.
Oh God!
Hey, everybody!
That was genuine. I'm so sorry. We are ready to, speaking of trash cans, we are ready to get dark and dirty today on the Pocket Dimension with Shadowdark and Soulblight sessions.
Yes.
Dirty, 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 dirty.
Dirty, 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 dirty.
Oh my.
Greetings, people
Oh
of
my.
London. Please do not adjust your set. Please do not fall out of your seats. I will be these
God.
lovely goons. Lucky Game Master tomorrow. Welcome to the Pocket Dimension Live. This is the session 0 for Soulblight Into the Wyrmwoods.
Oh my.
Sorry, I was too excited. Let me get back into the right mode. I mean, that's cool.
Right, I shouldn't be like
You
vibrating
smile so
with
much.
excitement because
I
that's
know,
not goth,
I know,
but like
I know.
kind of am.
Now that my job here is done, I'll just be leaving. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. See you later.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. Yes, the voice, the luscious voice that you just heard is our friend Laurin David Weggen, who is joining us from afar. What time is it where you are, sir?
I mean, it's the middle of Europe, Germany to be precise. So it's just 6:30.
Okay,
It's
not too bad. Not too bad.
It's not too late. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Just.
And I have been singing the praises of Soulblight, this creation of this gentleman's creation for many
Look at that.
many
Look at that.
months, year.
It's gorgeous.
It is beautiful, and we finally just said, "Hey, man, would you like to, take us through it yourself?" So, would you like
Deliver
to
you
play a
onto your
game?
doom?
Yes.
Would you like to die by my hands? So yes, we are filming. Tomorrow we're going to play a game. And we thought that why not spend today just kind of going through a session 0 on our lunch break like you do. So yes, Soulblight is of course written for the incredible game Shadowdark. Which is an arcane library creation that we love. And I have basically started saying if your flavor is Dungeons and Dragons, but you need to, you kind of run it by your pals, and your pals say, "Oh man, there's too much." Just ease them in with Shadowdark at the very least. You may never need to leave, but it is the most beautifully condensed, distilled 5e experience that I know.
And if you're like me and you love character death, Shadowdark is definitely for you.
This
Hell
is
yeah.
like the old school revival,
Meat
like
grinder.
the king of that. universe.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
will you tell, first of all, happy day after your birthday, Matt.
Yes.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
It's
Thanks.
Matt's birthday
Happy
week.
birthday to
Hey.
you. Happy birthday, dear Matt. Happy birthday to you. My
that's
gift
why-
shall be perhaps only killing you tomorrow. We'll see where it goes.
That's actually why we invited Lauren, so that Lauren would sing instead of us today.
Yes.
That's right. That's
To
right. That's right.
Amy, thank
you.
you for the pocket change.
Oh,
We
thank
love
you.
you. 3, one of my favorite stories, a bit of lore that I love so much, it was the connection to the name Soulblight with something you wrote, Matt. Would you tell us that tale? Because I just think it's so fun.
Oh,
Wait,
really?
remind me. That
What is
Soulblight
this?
with a.
We have
Say that again?
Soulbright. Tataria. Remember?
We do.
That was like
We
what
do.
Like
Oh, that's
when
right.
Lauren first came into the Pocket Dimensions Discord and was like,
Sea-
I've got this setting
Soulblight.
Soulblight. And we were like, what? Seablight. That's right. But still,
Yes,
it was
yes.
the closeness of the names and something
Yes,
that you had
exactly.
written, Matt. I was like, you and I had written
Unbeknownst
together.
to anything, there's a city in the world that we've all created called Seabright, but of course it is a miserably run down, falling apart city that is the foot of a mountain and also by the coast, and so its denizens prefer to call it Sea Blight.
Blight.
So blightness basically was a
On all of our hearts and
whole
minds.
year. Yeah.
Ah,
We were drawn to your blight, Lauren.
indeed.
You shall
He's
hear from
on to
my
the
lawyer.
Oh no.
No, I do believe there's enough difference in there to not spark any controversies or whatsoever.
No, because Soul Blight is an entire setting. It's an entire concept that we're going to get into. But yes, it was suggested that we probably start with the more session zero-y aspects of what we're going to do tomorrow, and then for anybody who has questions for Lauren about this setting, then we'll get into that as well. Don't you worry.
Very good, then. Then, first things first. We have 4 players. That means we have 4 characters to go through. The characters will be playing at level 3 for this particular adventure.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, Lauren, we're starting to
Extra.
lose your sound.
Did we now? That is too
Yes.
bad. Can
That's
you hear
better.
me still? Okay.
That's it. That's better.
There
Yes.
we go. I think it was Evmux because suddenly I froze as well. I think it just had a
Oh
moment.
no.
It can't handle me, it seems. That's fine.
There we go.
Now, where was I saying? Okay, so 4 characters tomorrow. They'll be starting off at level 3 specifically, and they'll be starting off with a little bit of extra gear, which they will need for this little adventure that I'm going to put them through.
Okay.
Now, the 4 of you, I want you to please roll me initiative. I'm going to assume that each of you has for now, a modifier of +0. So,
Okay.
Okay.
Natural 1. That feels correct.
Natural 1. My die ran away.
We're off to
I
a
am
great
busy
start.
watching Evan's camera right now. What is
I'm trying
happening?
to show you my natural 20.
Oh,
Buddy.
Okay.
I love that we're always bookends.
Come on.
I
Get
got a
this.
big 12.
Ooh. And I got a 17.
Nice.
very well. That means we go to Evan first. Now,
Oh.
I asked each of you to already sort of pre-roll your stats, your background, and then we decide on classes and ancestry and everything else together today. Now, Evan,
So you had
what you're working with.
mentioned that a bard class was up for grabs, and I've never played a bard in any system ever, which is I don't know why. I think bards are probably really great. I certainly have what I like to call musical Tourette's, in which my wife is forced to suffer through, where I just constantly sing songs that I make up all day, every day. So one would think natural class to play, but this will be the first. And then once you gave us a little background into Wyrmwood and into this world, and the more I read, I landed on this fellow, Sir Elric Valimir. He is the bastard son of Duke Silas Lindmont. Lindmont? Am I pronouncing that correctly? He was not raised in the house. Has his own house of Valemere, but they're a minor vassal family. So he's basically a noble, but not really acknowledged by House Lindmont. They did kind of keep him in decent clothing and decent coin and decent school, which is how he studied the arts, became a singer. Grew up, and as many musicians do, and I guess this is why probably bards get this reputation outside of famous bardic characters that you can watch on the internet, who are randy, raunchy characters. But he does kind of fall into that category, and got into hot water when he bedded another noble who, as it turned out, was betrothed to a cousin from House Lindmont, and it was just a scandal. And he was demoted from his nobility to serve on the guard, the Lindmont guard. Behind his back, probably to his face, his fellow guards refer to him as "your disgrace" or "Lord Jackass," things like that. No real respect, but he does enjoy. I think he's been a member of the guard for a year and change, 3 months to be exact. And though he does long for his former life of debauchery, he's settled in, and his cohorts are no longer amused by his songs. So to roll up a bard, I went human. It just felt right for your world. It felt right for this character in these houses, although I don't know specifically what the ancestral makeup is of the Lindmont house. I just went human. And he struck me as the kind of fellow that doesn't want to really get into combat if he can help it. So any weapons that he would have would be primarily ranged ones, a crossbow, though he does carry a dagger if he needs it, which he hopes he never has to. And great. What you got? It's a great question. I think it is going to be pretty vapid, like almost use your words, Evan. He probably didn't put a ton of thought into it, like, oh yeah, Freya's hot. Right? So my guess would be that he's truly not religious, probably more of an agnostic, possibly even atheistic, but society demands that he is committed to a religion, so he almost arbitrarily chose Freya.
I see. I see in the chat some people say that they can't.
Oh no.
Oh no. I think Matt's fixing it.
He's back. Drew says, okay, you're back.
Yes.
Phew.
Okay. To bring
Now
you
he's
guys
not-
up to speed,
So
what
we had to add him to the scene, AK, but
Yeah.
how do we add him, but then keep him? How do we do that? Okay. So
you
if
did
I
it.
click this,
Here,
Ah.
I did, but
Can you hear me
do we
now?
just make him?
Yeah, I think you just have to make me really, really, really
Yeah.
small like that.
How's that? Can everyone hear him now?
yeah, not Elgato'd. Allison mistake.
yes.
Okay, good. So that's
not Elgato'd.
so
Allison
that's
being
the-
an idiot.
I guess I'm back
that's
now.
the trick. Okay, there we go. There we go. Back.
Do
back
not look
in
to the
action.
man behind the curtain.
That's right.
Very good.
And now I'll add your cool waveform so people
right.
can also visually see when you're
I
talking.
love it.
That means, Evan, though, that you will most likely be keeping your worship of Freya quite hidden, even amongst the Moriturian Guard, as they are called. Those who are, well, already dead to begin with. Most of them worship the Cardinal Church. Most of them worship the Four Lords. If they were caught wind of you, worshipping a pagan goddess, people have been burned for less.
Wow. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Now,
Love that.
that would mean, would you consider yourself the leader of this little troop that will be sent into the Wyrmwoods?
Absolutely not. No way.
Oh.
No way.
Man.
Elric definitely wants to. He's lazy. He's lazy as hell. And he's here to bolster as much as he possibly can, but no one would want him leading them at all.
I see.
And
Well then. Let me just give a brief look over your character sheet right here. Now, as I said, the characters will be starting off this expedition with 1+1 item, either a piece of armor or a piece of weaponry. I see you chose your chainmail for that. Very good. You'll be needing it. Now, here's the thing, folks. Shadowdark, despite a reputation it already has, it is not quite as deadly as people make it out to be. Characters can absolutely survive more than one session of Shadowdark RPG. I don't intend to let these people live tomorrow. No.
yes.
Thank you for introducing your character to us, Elric.
Thank
Now,
you.
let us get to the next in this little happy little bunch.
Yes,
I believe down the initiative roll. Next one was either, I think it was Matt
Was
or
it me?
Fitz.
I think yeah, what did you get, Fitz?
I only got a 12. I think it's you.
Okay.
Very good.
Yes. Then
Matt, what have you got for us today?
I have got, as AK shows, I've got Xerxes the Odd.
Oh.
Hmm.
Wow.
Um,
Interesting.
named after a historical figure in the realm of Soulblight.
Historical figure.
Yes, with by parents who wanted him to be special, to fill heroic shoes. Unfortunately, things have not quite gone the way that these helicopter parents wanted. And Xerxes, if it's all right, is a human wizard. Because I've never played a wizard in this game. You know what? I actually didn't know how to roll stats on Shadow Darklings. I think there's a couple of different. I just didn't spend a ton of time, but so I'm not sure that my stats are correct. But basically, the idea behind Xerxes is that he was not originally from nobility. He was from a small I'm thinking dusty town that revered these historical figures and wanted his parents wanted him to break out, to be a better person than he was. There was one very incompetent wizard in this tiny town, and he became this wizard's apprentice. Does sort of have a knack for it, but didn't. This was disappointing to his parents because they wanted him to be a hero, like a champion. I don't know. I think he still has a chance to go for that, to be perfectly honest. But he studied he got as far as he could with the town's wizard, and then branched off on his own, and found his way eventually to the house, to be a part of this crew, and I think that he would then be sort of the wizard of the realm of the house of the region, and would be kind of, or maybe not.
No. That cackle.
I can already see that he is a very prideful figure to consider himself the royal, or rather,
royal. Yes, exactly.
Noble wizard of the House of Lintmont. When you've been stuck into the Moritorian Guard, those who are about to die, tell me, how did it come to that in particular?
How did it come that he was accepted?
Yes, let's go with that.
I think that his general vibe is to fake it until you make it, and I think that he knows the spells that he knows extremely well, which gives him the confidence that he needs, and he's able to. He makes a very good first impression. And he also there is a tattoo. He's very much into tattoos. He has full sleeves of tattoos, and so I think that his background as being a commoner maybe spoke to some of the maybe the guards in charge, maybe the I would have to ask who would be our direct officer above, because I feel like he would find a way to sort of endear himself to that person, perhaps.
There are 6 officers above and 1 below.
Doesn't work.
Very good.
Your direct officer within the Moritorian Guard would have been the Dame Hild of Lintmont, one of the landed knights of House Lintmont itself.
Beautiful.
Perhaps she saw something in you. Perhaps she saw simply, well, a wizard outside of the university and a wizard outside of the common, let's say, being bound to some other noble house might be just useful enough for these people. Let's go with
just
that.
Useful enough. I think that's kind of one of his mottos, just useful enough. So he also has an element to him that is extremely rooted in conspiracy theories. And he is a hoarder of things. He truly believes that by collecting things that he feels could possibly become sentient, that he will learn. Let's see where I wrote some notes down. He will learn how to push back the coming of. What was it? Sorry. not the Cardinal of. There is an the Mad Conqueror has spoken of a something coming, right? A force,
It's an interesting tidbit of knowledge that you have there on your hands. We'll get to that in time. Because I'm writing all these things down for tomorrow.
Yes. So he feels that by collecting buttons, okay. Buttons, knickknacks, just completely worthless items. He believes that they will become sentient.
Mike.
And is it a force awakening? It is definitely a force awakening. And no one really believes this, but he's kind of like, he loves to talk about it. He loves to go into that fact to anyone who will listen to him.
Good. Very good. Thank you, Matt. Please be so kind as to export your character file then, if you already have your character sheet.
All right.
Yes. Don't forget to add 1+1 armor or +1 weapon that you might have.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I believe in the case of a wizard, well,
yeah.
your dagger or a staff would be the most likely because wizards in Shadowdark cannot wield armor.
Oh. Yes. Good.
As it should be.
Old school, as it should be.
Indeed. Now,
I'll work on that if you want to move on to...
Naturally. Fitz,
Yes.
what have you got for us today?
I am less prepared than everybody else. I need some hand-holding.
Do it!
Because
Oh my God, your name.
The name,
your gal here closed out of the tab and lost everything from yesterday, so we're starting from scratch, baby.
Here.
All right, Fitz. Then I will I would like you to get 3d6 then, please.
All right.
Because that means we'll be rolling your ability scores live.
Here we go.
All right, so as we roll here, I have decided on Cerise Doombringer, because it's the most goth name I could think of.
1,000,000 out of 10.
Okay, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11. So that goes into strength, yeah?
If you want to do a 3d6 down the line, sure.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. And another 11. Ooh, that's nice. That's not 3d6, right?
Yes.
I got 17 in Constitution.
Nice.
I think I mapped that right.
Pretty singing out so
I got
hard.
another
You're gonna
11.
need
What is happening here?
Nice.
Okay, and then oh yeah, this makes sense. This makes total sense. We got a 9. And somehow, okay, I definitely have rolled better than yesterday, because yesterday I was getting a lot of -2 modifiers. So this is definitely, maybe me closing that tab was a good thing.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
So let's see.
I see that you've chosen a fighter then.
I have.
Excellent.
I love a beefcake.
All right.
And as far
Needed
as
at least
like
one.
who this person is, very high level, my thoughts are that she and her love have been soldiers for as long as they can remember, but her love has died nobly on the battlefield. And unfortunately, Cerise was not fortunate enough yet to meet her end, and is just waiting for the day to be reunited with a heroic, awful, probably visceral death on the battlefield so that she may join her love in the afterlife.
Is that why she joined the Moriturian Guard then?
I think so, yeah.
Very
I think
good.
maybe they were mercenaries before, or some sort of soldier for hire. And
Love
so
it.
now Cerise has a bit of a death wish and has joined this group here.
Ooh.
Like you do.
Excellent. That means now, first things first, for the rest of your character, Roll me 1d8 if you would.
Oh, that's right. I need my hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Boop. Ooh, 5.
5. Okay.
And then I do that 2 more times?
Exactly.
Oh, wait. Constitution modifier?
Constitution modifier on the first. It's going to be a plus 3.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an 8. And then 4... So 7 plus 8 is 15. Or do you just
not
add your con to the first one?
You only add your con modifier to the very first roll, not to the others.
Got it. And then a 2. Okay. Boom.
12 HP. Very good. Now, since you are the fighter of this group, so far, you have... Right. You have 17... No. Right. 11. 11 plus 3, 14 item slots because of that.
Okay, great. Let me put boop, boop, boop.
Because in Shadowdark, your strength score determines the amount of inventory that you can carry. Fighters get to add their con modifier on top of that.
Oh, nice.
Amazing. And then, oh yeah, hauler, because I'm a hauler. And then I did notice that in the list of weapons, there's something called a bastard sword. So obviously
Indeed.
I want that.
Very good.
That's so old school.
And I assume that you will also choose that to be your weapon mastery then.
Yes, which I get a +1. And then does that stack with the +1 you're giving? So can I make it a +2?
Yes, it does.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
All right. And then I get grit. So I have strength or advantage I get to choose for advantage. Obviously, I'm going strength because, again, I love a beefcake. Love a beefcake.
Very good.
Advantage on strength.
I love a urinal cake.
Don't love a urinal cake. I do love a beefcake.
And don't
Do you
forget...
wash your urinal cakes?
And don't forget, you get to roll 2 talents because you're level 3.
Okay. So first one is a 12. So choose a talent or +2 points to distribute. Oh, that's pretty great. So I've got some odd numbers here. So I might go ahead and make this one a 12. And this one an 18.
Nice.
So this goes up, right? To a 4?
Indeed.
So then...
Your HP go up to 13.
And then I get an extra slot, yeah?
Yep.
Boom! Okay. And then get to do it one more time. And that's an 8. So that is +2 to strength, dexterity, or constitution. +2 to strength.
Very good. That means you have now a 14 in strength.
Nice.
That gives you, I believe... Yes, 2 more slots.
Oh! Is it constitution or strength that determines my gear slots?
Strength determines your gear slots, but you add your constitution modifier on top of it.
So I get that.
As a
Man, I can
fighter.
carry... I can... Look at this, guys. I can carry so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Now who's the hoarder,
Mule.
Matt?
Yeah.
And of course, for the rest of your gear, you get to... Let me just check real quick in the rules for this.
Roll for my golden gear.
Indeed.
Okay. Shadowdark Link says roll 2d6 times 5 for gold pieces. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
6. So 6 times 5 is a number. That is 30. So I got 30 gold pieces to spend. I will obviously spend some of that on getting myself a bastard sword, unless that's a gimme from your...
That is a freebie. The weapon that you are given, the weapon or armor that you choose, is going to be a freebie, essentially, for you guys.
Amazing. Okay.
Because the Moriturian Guard and House Lindmund deal only in the best of weapons. They are a powerful house, and the Moriturian Guard needs all it can get against the horrors of the Wyrmwoods.
Okay. Good to know. So there is some support.
Yes.
Okay. So I should put some armor on my body.
Yes.
Armor apparently is very expensive.
Indeed.
And I am poor. So I will buy How about some leather armor? How about some leather armor?
That sounds to me like a fabulous idea.
Great.
That'll give you an AC of
Leather.
11.
Okay. Great. I guess I could buy a shield, but then I don't have 2 hands free from my sword.
You can also put the shield on your back, but, you know, in the heat of a moment, it's up to you to decide.
Oh.
Hey, Fitz.
Yeah.
I think you are being given 1+1 armor or weapon. If that changes your...
I used it to get my bastard sword.
Oh, that's your bastard sword.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Got
I
it.
cashed that in
Yes.
for that baby.
Dirty
So actually I should
baby.
replace this with that.
Okay. Sorry.
Best-
I was too
okay.
busy looking up what a bastard sword was.
Yeah, I don't actually
Fair.
care
Realize
what
what
it
you
does.
did.
I want it.
Do you
It is
want to
technically
know?
a 1.5-hander. As
There it is. There you go.
It is a sword that can be wielded in both one hand or with, well, half hand, or rather, with another hand on top of it. Technically speaking, long swords and bastard swords, if we're going to be honest, are kind of the same thing. It's just about the length of a sword, ultimately.
Nice.
But that's only you.
Isn't that life?
That's just life, baby. That's just life.
Someone always has the longer sword.
Someone, and today it's me.
Alrighty then. You still have, I believe, 20 GP remaining.
I do.
If you want, you can do the assembling of the items in the background, because I have a question
Yeah.
for you.
Okay.
You are a tutelare.
Yes.
Interesting. That means even in the eyes of the lesser religious people of Marland, even in the eyes of the Moriturian Guard, you are something slightly out of the ordinary. You have a touch of divine grace in you. In the ancient times, over 1200 years ago, during the times of the Empire, the tutelari were temple guardians, sentinels, blessed by the gods as beacons of order. There are only very, very few of you remaining in this day and age. So to have one of you in the Moriturian Guard might be even, who's knows, fate, in a way.
You're fated. You're fated, Fitz.
It
I
also
love
grants you a degree of magical protection against most other spells, so that's nice as well.
It does. I just like the description. It sounded like badass as hell. Like golden eyes, apparently like really gigantic and marbled like skin. I was like, hell yeah! It's like a friggin' Solar but smaller. It's like a Goliath meets a Solar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, the question is, of course, your alignment.
oh yeah.
Do you consider yourself more a person of duty, of honor, of virtue? Do you abide with the codes of the world? Or are you strictly about strength and violence? But I see that you chose the lawfulness.
I did, which is an unusual choice for me, but I'm
Yeah.
trying something new here. Right?
Interesting.
We're going full buff.
Yeah.
I think if I mean, not to get like super dark, but like I think if I had chosen another alignment, Cerise would have attempted to maybe in a more would have attempted maybe to meet their lover in the afterlife sooner, but it's not for Cerise to choose her end, and that is why she continues to soldier on, and so that's where the lawfulness comes in, is like following this order, this religion of like, you know, knowing that they have this notable or, you know, higher calling and status.
Then I believe it would be only appropriate if you were to write down the cardinal lords or the cardinal church under your deities.
Okay.
For in Marland, and in Soulblight in general, there is the existence of the cardinal church, which is the combined worship of the four lords of order of Gede, Saint Tyragnis, Ord, and Madeira. They stand in unity against the forces of darkness.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Good. You'll be assigning the rest of your gear in the background. So now
Yes.
we can jump over to the last of our crew.
The last of
AK,
us.
please
Yes.
tell us, what do you have
Oh,
for
I'm
us?
scared. Like everybody else, I'm leaning into a character type that I do not usually play. And so I am going priest. I will be our healer with perhaps some consequences to my healing, I think, to make this very dark and goth and fun. My name is Ember. My title is Zealot of the Smoldering Word. Pay no attention to the fact that this says elf. I will be changing that to a changeling for my ancestry, and I will be playing a priest with a scholar background. I already did my stat roll, so those are up here. And what else? I mean, do you kind of want to hear just like a little bit of my thoughts
Oh, please.
on the backstory? Okay.
Please.
So as with her scholarly background, she worked in the chapel of Saint Joanna. She, just a very quiet life, cataloging relics, copying scriptures, but then one day, doing her daily duties beneath the chapel, she kind of found something, this relic, even older than the saints. It was a page that wouldn't burn. And now she doesn't worship the lords. She serves an unknown god, a forgotten god. And basically, I think the tie into the house that she is now serving for this journey in particular is they find her odd but useful. It's kind of like keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I think kind of a situation. So yeah, they didn't really know what to do with her after the chapel burned, so instead they made her useful. And she serves a house that she does not trust. But the Wyrmwood remembers her, or so it would seem.
Interesting. You mean to tell me you served in the chapel of Saint Joanna that once was in the Wyrmwood? Interesting. So that means one day you are from the Wyrmwood in that sense.
I think so.
Interesting. Because the Wyrmwood and the chapel of Saint Joanna had been burned down for over 1,200 years.
Okay. Even better. And that's where I was wondering, like, with the changeling, since that almost has like a fae feel, right? Even better? What are your thoughts, though?
I think it was
are changelings in Shadowdark longer?
No, not in regular Shadowdark. Changelings are an ancestry that exists entirely created by me for Adamant Crown in particular.
Yeah.
So, that means you are a woman out of time. You do not belong in this era. It took you long enough even to read and to understand the language of your new fellows. And your existence even will be a carefully kept secret from the rest of the world, even from the Cardinal Church. Especially from the Cardinal Church.
Whoa.
Take that, priest. Couldn't just do it normal, could I? Yeah. Well, and then that ties in even better to the, priestly language, primordial. And yeah, what else?
Oh,
did
that
we
does.
look at here together? Yeah. And I mean, I had pre-chosen that prior to this. I have not chosen any of my equipment yet. It did not go that far, but I did get
That's
my spells in, and my talent to roll. I basically did all the things I needed to roll for. So
that's very
taking
good.
primordial, cure wounds, light. My talent is a +1 to pre-spellcasting checks. I went ahead and rolled my HP. So I think at level 3, I'm currently sitting at 15.
Did you roll the rest of your HP as well? Yes, I see you did.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep. So that's all in here. And then I wanted to up her intelligence. So my next talent, I took the +2 and put them both into intelligence to get that out of negative. I put smite in here for now. I haven't necessarily locked in on that.
That's fine. As long as you have the spell list itself like locked in before tomorrow,
Yes.
that's all
Yep.
fine.
I went chaotic alignment, and I serve something unknown to everybody else. Yeah, that's what I have so far.
Very good. Very good indeed.
I swear I'm going to heal y'all, though. I swear.
Very
Okay.
good. So there you have it, folks. These are the 4 that will be sent tomorrow from Castle Lindemund through the Serpent Canyon and into the Wyrmwoods past the sword-sealed trees. But before that happens, I do believe I need to talk a little bit about the world that you are actually trying to protect, shouldn't I?
Yes. Yes.
Now, the entirety of Adamant Crown specifically takes place in the Kingdom of Marland, a land to the northwest of Lothlorien, the grand realm of Soulblight itself. Marland is best described as a land that survived great ruin and prospered nonetheless. Once it was home to a great empire that span in all cardinal directions all the way to the Carbuncle Mountains. But over 1200 years ago, a great darkness fell upon it. It was pushed back only by 8 virtuous palatines, 8 warriors who gave their life defeating this darkness and allowing the core of the empire to survive and become, though marred, a new nation, Marland. It is home to the Adamant Crown, and for 3 dynasties who have ruled, the land had been in relative peace. Until recently, King Balthazar II, last of his line, died without leaving an heir behind. With no heir, there would be crisis. So on his deathbed, he proclaimed the claim of steel. A time where all feuds would be put to rest. All strife between noble houses would become a truce until one would step forward who possess all 8 virtues, the same ones once incarnated by the 8 palatines, and to claim the Adamant throne. Your lord, Duke Silas, is perhaps the closest and most powerful candidate to perhaps one day sit on the Adamant Crown, when they wield the Adamant Crown. And for that very reason, the 4 of you will be sent out tomorrow into the Wyrmwoods, back to that ancient chapel, and retrieve an artifact called the Phoenix Standard, or the Phoenix Banner specifically. An item of not so much power, but a symbol, once belonging to another great noble house, the House Haori. I believe I pronounced it right this time. No, House Hyron, specifically.
Hyron.
A noble house that has close ties to the capital city of Askerbury. So, for the lord nobility of your master, the Duke Silas, you will have to retrieve it and brave the dangers of Wyrmwood.
How do we feel about our Duke? How do we feel about him?
Well, I mean, I believe
Doesn't
Evan
work.
has already certain preconceived notions concerning this Duke. Duke Silas is a stern man and a merciless man as well, especially towards those who would harm or who would invade his lands. Most recently, he had 24 men and women, part of brigands who had ransacked part of his lands, crucified along the road leading up
Nice.
to his castle. Some of them are still alive to this day, being fed and given water, just to prolong their suffering and to serve as an example for all those who would dare to harm and pillage his lands.
Bruh.
He is also a direct descendant of one of the 8 Palatines, and thus a wielder of one of the Palatine weaponries.
Ooh.
He's
That's
a cold
why.
man.
He's a cold man. That's why we are armed. Better, correct? That is why we have. Maybe there are other houses that do not have that descendant, and therefore they would not be quite as
Well equipped.
geared.
It's called old money.
It's all well equipped. Thank you.
It is old
Thank
money.
you.
It
Old
is
money,
well-equipped.
well equipped. Yes.
And as said, as Duke, he is behind the king. He was the second most powerful man in the entirety of the kingdom. He is known as the Shield of Marland for a reason. He and his lineage and the guard that you belong to have kept, well, Marland safe from the terrors of Wyrmwood. Terrors that, however, may or may not even exist. But tradition demands the guard nonetheless.
Fake news is what you're saying.
Maybe.
Well, propaganda at least. Propaganda. So that was my other question: is if he is so cold and unpleasant, why? But he's playing that card of you would be destroyed without my protection.
Rephrase that question, if you would. What exactly is it that you're asking?
Not so much a question, more of just a thinking out loud. That I was wondering if he's bordering on the tyrannical. This Duke. Why would they follow him? Why would they try to push him to be, to wear the crown eventually? And you're saying, because number one, he is a descendant of the 8, and number two, he's a great marketer, and he is saying, well, without me, you're all dead. My protection,
Not merely
my
that.
guard. Okay.
It is part of it. But the Duke, for his coldness, the Duke honors his word. The Duke protects those who live on his lands. He has waged war for even smaller misdeeds done to his lesser vassal lords. Though he has, well, he's often aligned to being as cold as ice most of the time. He has never once broken his word. Not even once.
He's a man of his word. Okay.
He's a man of his word. And when he is cruel, it is always aimed at those who have pillaged his lands, those who have harmed his people. One thing that has to be kept in mind, Marland is very much a land of feudal lords. The 8 Palatines, the virtues that they incarnate, they are an ideal to follow for many knights, for many lords, but very few people in Marland could even hope to stand up to their ideals, no matter how much the Cardinal Church preaches such virtues.
This would be another reason why Xerxes the Odd is wanted to be a part of this, is that much like the Duke, he also believes in fighting for those that he is sworn to protect.
Very good.
I have a question.
Please, Evan.
How, knowing that the monstrosities of Wyrmwood Forest, of the Soulblight in general, that some of it is considered merely myth. What is common knowledge for both, I guess, the people at maybe at large, but specifically for our little band? Are we believers? Are we? Is it merely myth? What do we know about
Well,
the Soul Blighted?
you know nothing about the Soulblight itself. The only thing known to you is that 1200 years ago there was a great darkness, and that darkness was pushed back all the way into the Wyrmwood, where the 8 paladins struck down the Serpent King, the creature that, or the man that once led this, the fall of the Empire itself. There are 9 sword-sealed trees that form a line, a border between the south of Marland and the Wyrmwoods. These have been blessed by 9 gods. 2 of them have been withered away. And 3 others are slowly wilting. Only 4 stand strong to this day. So, you know there are monsters in the world. You know there are monsters in the Wyrmwood. But if there's such a thing as... if there's such a thing as the Serpent King, that is a boogeyman at this point. 1200 years. A legend, at best.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, of course, you know there are other things in the Wyrmwoods. There are cabals of witches, naturally, drawn to the darkness of that place, to the dark mires and swamps. There are swamp octopi, great spiders, creatures of ill repute, sometimes, but common people, brigands.
I think I'm on the wrong side of this fight. I want to go be a witch coming with the spiders.
Brigands and
Be a
bandits and the
swamp
like,
octopus, please.
Okay.
they avoid the Wyrmwoods.
Ooh.
No mortal being enters the Wyrmwoods, aside from the Moriturian guards.
Ooh. Okay.
You will be given a map tomorrow as well. The location, or rather the direction of a chapel of Saint Joanna, the old one, is, of course, known to you to a great degree. It is both written down in history, and you have a witness of that chapel amongst your band. One, perhaps, who does not remember anything of that time, only a few details, but perhaps she will be able to guide you.
Will she? Will she?
But will she, though?
We'll see.
She's on your side.
Okay.
Just maybe not everybody's side.
What? Wait a minute.
We'll see
She's
where
here
tomorrow
for-
takes us.
Yes.
I don't want y'all to think I'm coming in here to combat you. You're not the problem.
You know what they say. Yes. Player
It's
versus
me.
player.
Hi, I'm the
no.
problem. It's me.
GM versus player. A-okay. Oof.
Are there any
I
other
love this.
questions that you may have for tomorrow?
I just gotta go get myself equipped.
Are there any other questions for those of you who have joined us today that you have of about this the system or the setting or Fitz's
Amy
character?
says, "How do they not die?"
Allison's character?
I don't think.
How
that's
do
an
they?
option.
How do they not die?
Before
Yeah,
we
it's a
jump
wonderful
into, I have one last
question.
question before we jump into talking specifically about Soulblight, which we definitely want to do. In terms of these bands of guards, how common is it to go into the Wyrmwood? what and when they do, like, we have a specific mission, we have a charge. Is this fairly common, or is this shocking to us and terrifying?
It is more common than one might think, but not as common as one would like it to, I think. Of course, Moriturian guards and scouts are often sent past the line of sword-sealing trees, mostly to make sure that there are no monster nests on the other side, like immediately burrowed and dug out in the land itself, so that nothing comes south. There are, of course, those who keep track of any sort of signs of great worms or serpents that might try to slither southward. And of course, every year, a group is sent out to regularly burn parts of a Wyrmwood beyond the sword-sealing trees to prevent it from spreading further south. For the Wyrmwood spreads, it grows. 3 times in history have they tried to burn it down entirely. 3 times it has grown back and greater than before.
Oh.
Oof. When are they ever going to learn?
I don't know. Apparently after
Just
time
leave
number 3.
well enough. Yeah, leave well enough alone. I do like Mike's question. How much wormwood can a wormwood chuck?
Well, that depends entirely on how much the wormwood could chuck before the worm chuck would chuck for chucking wormwood. While chucking the wormwood, who would chuck the wormwood?
Whoa. Wormwood. Wow. You guys, we're playing level 3, which is, I feel like every other time we played Shadowdark, it's been like level 1. I'm feeling pretty invincible. I don't know what
We're basically gods.
You two just put
fine.
yourself in coffins.
Yeah, we're great. We got this. And remember, I have cure wounds. I can heal you. I don't know what
Sure.
And we're each taking healing, but we got this. Is so great. Yeah.
So
fully
great.
confident. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why I specifically chose a backstory for my character, because they wish to die.
Oh.
Do you want to die?
Their greatest ambition.
Smart choice.
That is a smart choice. That way you're
reading the room. I read the room.
It's called manifesting. Look it up.
It's true. It's true.
Here we go. 666 portal. We're manifesting. Big
That's
thing
right.
for our sweet little party.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is now a good time to transition into talking a little bit about Soulblight?
Oh, dear Lord. I guess we have to. We guess we have no choice.
Well, I just wanted to say, we've we have dipped our toes into Shadowdark a little bit, but I have a strong feeling that this is going to be a very defining Shadowdark experience for us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I'm really excited to do this with you. So
No
my
pressure.
first question is probably a really boring one, but I'll take the boring question hit, which is, can you just tell us a little bit about the creation, the origins of Soulblight? How did you dream this up? How did this come to you?
Why Shadowdark?
Well, let me tell you. It happened ages ago, during the time of COVID-19. We were all locked in, quarantined, slowly wasting away within our rooms. I was no different, of course. Over here in Germany, lockdown was happening. I think it was the very first year, actually, of quarantine specifically. I found an invitation to the Arcane Library Discord because I was subscribed to the newsletter for quite some time then. And I thought, hey, why not simply jump in? I jump in, I read the room a little bit, I read around the Discord, and I see this little thing there. It's called Shadowdark RPG Beta. So I thought, hey, why not? Let's look what's in there and see, oh, there's an entire Dropbox document containing the rule set. I read into it, I like what I read. And then I see the artwork of the 10-eyed oracle. And something combined with the image of a 10-eyed oracle and the idea of like an actual dungeon or dedicated dungeon crawler where light is a resource for you to use and to lose, where monsters will attack the light, where you can't see in the dark, where you must rely on your wits, where fighting is not always the intended way to solve things, but also to run away, to live to die another day, essentially. That vibe in that time of Corona, at the height of it, I think it did something to me. And I recall it was like the first or second day in that Discord, and was my very first message. I wrote, I'm going to write a setting for this. Is that okay with you all? It's okay with you all. I'm doing it. And thankfully, Kelsey was very, very kind enough to have a wonderful third-party license for us to, for people like me and other third-party creators to create for Shadowdark. And yeah, that's how Soulblight became the very first third-party setting for Shadowdark. It was out before the Kickstarter even hit. It was even out shortly after the beta was sort of over, while like still in production, essentially. So it's been around for a very, very long time.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
amazing.
And where can, since it's out, where can the folks get their Soulblight?
Well, you can find Soulblight and all other works connected to it on my itch.io, Laurin David Weggen on itch.io itself. There you can find Soulblight, a Shadowdark setting, as well as its first expansion, Adamant Crown, as well as another hex scroll that I wrote, The Dying Veil. And a couple of other stuff, like, for example, the Indigo Outpost Futon, which is my sort of the canon, quote-unquote, lore and expansion of the core Soulblight book itself. Because the idea behind Soulblight was, like, I create a setting that is a framework that can be easily enough changed by any GM using what is, like, in the book, or just take stuff from it and implement it into their own games, such even as the Seventh Sovereign, the Soulblight itself. Anything that's like my version of the core setting, essentially, that's in the Indigo Outpost Futon. That's stuff that people can also look up. I'll be doing something very similar for Adamant Crown as well, as the first expansion.
Nice.
And for all other expansions that are to follow, because I have plans.
Also,
And,
yes, whole RPGs, you understand now. Because Shadowdark didn't convey enough dark. You are correct. We might go darker.
Yes.
The link that Laurin has mentioned is also in the notes of this very episode, so click on that and get you some.
And is this the artwork that
Indeed.
inspired, that started
That one. My thought for it was precisely, I want to write a setting or a world where this thing can exist.
Yes.
I want to write a world that is, where something like this can exist and naturally in the world itself, where it could find a home, dark corners and even darker realms. And then, of course, I added my usual bullcrap of being inspired by Buddhism and Hinduism specifically.
Right.
And the other idea was I didn't want to create yet another medieval European setting, though I did that with Adamant Crown. I wanted to try something different. And that's why I chose specifically Middle Eastern cultures and history to inspire Lothlorien itself.
Cool. Had you had experience world building prior to Soulblight, or was this in the middle of it was like a pandemic fever dream and you were just inspired?
Well,
because you clearly went deep on the world building.
Well, not
and
professionally in such a way. I have been writing small little stories and books for myself, and of course I've been world building my main, well, not the main setting, but like the core setting of most of my D&D games specifically, which I've been doing for over 10 years, which is called Vastant, which traces of are actually in all my Soulblight works. Because the core idea essentially is that Soulblight and the setting itself are technically a branch of the Vastant setting. or rather Amutra, as I call it as well, or the wheel, essentially. So yeah, 10 years of that, as well as like just a lot of reading. Tolkien, the greats, Beowulf, plenty of German fairy tales, and so on and so forth. So I had some practice beforehand.
Clearly.
Yeah, you had some practice.
I didn't simply just pull this from the Ether one day. No, I had practice.
You didn't just sell your soul and suddenly have a skill.
No, I would never do that.
Man.
It was the Middle Eastern. That you wouldn't. For me, it was the Middle Eastern flavor of Soulblight, but it wasn't. It was so unique to me because it wasn't just a Middle Eastern environment. It was flavored by that, where there's nothing wrong with creating something that is not stereotypically middle-aged European, but I loved that how everything kind of blended together the way it could have actually blended together. I really like that.
Yeah. I did do like a lot of research for a lot of that stuff. You'll only find like at most like 5 or 10% of what I've actually like researched for that stuff, like in Soulblight itself. But I've been researching like ancient Persia, ancient Saudi Arabia, Kuwait history, Iran, Iraq, a whole lot of stuff. Egypt as well. I actually also phoned up essentially a couple of friends of mine, specifically Moni above all, for basically all the Arabic that you find in all the Soulblight stuff. She has been translating that stuff for me, so big thanks to her.
Nice.
I initially also wanted to try and get actual like stuff like public domain art from Arabian artists as well. Maybe like will be like working in that sort of time periods. The issue is there was very little to find, so I essentially had to once again go to public domain art that was done by mainly Oriental artists. So that also creates a certain flavor in that sense, but those are like mostly European as well. So I had to be very deliberate in what I would choose, essentially, sort of to flavor the entire thing. And of course, the entire layout of the book and of all my books has been done by the magnificent Taylor, with whom I've worked together before, like multiple times afterwards. And he's been great. He's been pretty much responsible for the core aesthetic of the book as we know it. So my greatest hats off to Taylor for that. Thank you again, man.
Super beautiful work from Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, show some, Matt, is that what you got in your hand? Show a little bit off.
Yeah, show it.
Show it off.
Yes.
Show it.
This one example. And then maybe, I don't know. That one doesn't necessarily fit.
I've got a nerdy world building question for you. Do you? I think it was either. I think it was last Gen Con, maybe 2 Gen Cons ago. We watched Elminster himself talk about world building, he. You guys remind me. Was he a top down or was he a bottom up guy? Was he a power bottom up or power top down?
Wait, who?
I have no bloody clue.
Ed Greenwood.
Thank you, Ed Greenwood.
I think he was a power bottom up.
I think he's a bottom up. So do you, the question is, how, when you start, and I mean, clearly you've done a lot of research, but do you start
Greenwood, okay.
loosely with like large ideas and start to refine it as you go? Or do you get way down in the weeds and really craft every little nook and cranny of a world until you feel like it is ready for to inhabit?
That kind of depends on the kind of world that I'm building. If I, for example, when I built for my main group of players, whom I've been running D&D and stuff for almost like over 10 years at this point, I started like from small concepts, essentially, just a town, some stuff around it, and just some of the major religions, the major gods, and like the core idea behind the world that was always there. For Soulblight specifically, however, I started out, of course, with the impulse given to me by the artwork of Shadowdark itself, but then also with the idea, okay, what is the feeling of this world? I wanted to do something that was very much sword and sorcery inspired, so that already lends itself to a certain set of tropes to use there. And then I wanted to implement, because, hey, Dark Souls and From Software have rewired my brain when I was in middle school, in ways that they will never fathom, and I thank them for it. But the core idea of like this, an ancient world, a world that was older than the player or like the characters in them could perceive potentially, and the idea of essentially a world that was built upon the ruins of other worlds, kingdoms, nations crumbled, layers upon layers upon layers, reaching back tens of thousands of years, that people would delve into these ruins and come upon the bones of other civilizations before them. That was the other core idea behind it. And then came the Soulblight. I think that specifically was simply born from, well, Corona, honestly. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It can't come from anywhere else.
Yeah.
It was a time of disease, and I did something with it. The first idea I had was actually a sort of a church of a blight of some shape or form that was being worshipped. And from there on, I branched out into the sense of like 7 sovereign of sin, each of them affecting and afflicting the world around them with their very own sin that they personify. And then, only then, when the 7 had been established, came about the chasm, the core turning wheel of the Soulblight world. And its deep, deep master, Kanubra, Lord of the Chasm, all hail.
Hail! Sorry. I
Help!
One lord below.
Exactly.
Amazing. Do you have an ongoing Soulblight game with a core group of characters who may or may not have survived?
Sort of. I had a couple of just test games, essentially. I have a couple of groups here in Germany that I know personally, to whom I hand my stuff out to so they can test play it. So I just get reports from that, and they give me like reports, what works, what doesn't work, what needs fixing, what needs some potential rewriting, that sort of stuff. I am currently running a play-by-post game set in Adamant Crown on the Arcane Library Discord server, which has been ongoing and has a core group currently. My brother is also playing in it, so that's nice.
Nice.
Wow.
Yes. And for a time, I had run a sort of Westmarch style, rather open table style Soulblight Shadowdark game set in Cathedra, the capital of Laurin itself. I'll be starting that one up very soon again. I needed a little break and like prepare some stuff for it.
Yeah.
But I'll be taking off soon again. And that's also like just open table. People can come in to play. Also on the Arc Library Discord itself.
Nice.
Amazing.
Fun.
I feel like I'm hogging all the questions
Nice.
here.
Well, you're
Y'all-
asking the
y'all-
good questions.
You're asking the good ones. So.
No,
There
you're
are
asking
no
all the best
bad
questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are only questions and perhaps answers.
Okay, how
I
about this
wanna-
one? What?
I
What
was
did
just
it
gonna say, I just want to Biv Bros versus Vegan Bros.
Yeah.
Shadowdark off is now all I'm thinking.
Shadowdark.
That's why
Shadowdark
I
off.
asked
Vegan
questions.
bros?
Lauren and his brother.
Yes.
Vegan.
There it is.
Vegan.
Vegan bros. Yes.
Uh,
Vegan bros.
Sorry, not vegan. Not to be confused.
Yeah, no,
with
I
vegan.
Have
think
some vegan bros.
I think my brother would take personal offense to being called a vegan.
It's like politics, religion, and food. You just don't talk about it in company.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very true.
Unless you want to fight.
About to say that's why I
Yes,
have no
very
friends,
true.
because that's all I talk about.
Now, is there any chance that we will see you at Gen Con this year?
No, because I do not have money. I am
Yeah.
poor. I am a self-employed writer and game designer. Soulblight is basically my main income and everything else, along with some other stuff that I do. I do not have the resources to go to Gen Con. I would love to, but I can't. So there's that.
This
We're gonna
year,
have to start.
we
We gotta
are
start a GoFundMe or
manifesting.
something, man. We gotta
Yes.
get you. We gotta get your ass out there.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I have a couple of new projects coming, hopefully this year already. So who knows? Who knows, basically.
I mean, with that magnificent voice of yours, I think you need to either add certainly voice acting to your, to your income, as well as maybe reading the BBC's first super goth shipping report. I would listen to it
Yep.
every night. And as goth as possible, right? Like just doom and destruction.
Just read
Gale
the
Force
obituaries.
winds.
Like
Everything's
do the shipping
going,
war
turning
cap, but-
cyclonic.
Yeah.
There, ooh,
Just
I
read
love
the
it.
abyss.
I do intend to do some proper voice acting in the future. I have been running like theater productions over here in Germany, and I've been doing like live action audio plays over here in Germany as well. A friend of mine, who is my main audio producer friend, essentially, her and I are currently also recording like the Grimm's fairy tales in German currently. We'll be putting that up very soon.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Nice.
And I do intend at some point in the future to do some Souldark, also set in Soulblight, so recording my voice and doing a little bit of gameplay to that, uploading that as well.
Yes.
Nice.
Those are all future projects. Currently, the writing is the main gig, but hey.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, you were so good at it. I was just telling Matt and Allison this morning that reading through Soulblight and all of the documents that you gave us, it goes very in depth. But when you're cramming to for this, I was able to scan it fairly quickly and pick up so much. It's so well organized, and the thoughts are so clearly put forward that it was very easy to read through this, which is really honestly not the case sometimes with TTRPG content. It can be so dense that you just get kind of lost in it.
Mhm.
So I think it's
Yes.
actually quite remarkable. So anyway, a
Thank you.
testament that great writer.
Thank you. When I first wrote Soulblight, I must confess, I think the very first writing that I put out was not that great. I did update the book after all, like a month ago or so. Basically, I rewrote the entire thing while adding 90 pages to it. And
Wow.
yeah, Shadowdark itself, Kelsey has this incredible talent to really condense all necessary information
Yeah.
that you need into as few words as possible, which is very good for any sort of rule book. When it comes to writing a setting book, you kind of have to expand after all a little bit. It's trying to hit like that little balance of like what is too much information, what is absolutely useless information, what are the core things that a GM would need to run this essentially. And that's sort of also my core philosophy whenever designing stuff for Soulblight. Make it as easy as possible to get into it. Make it as easy as possible for any GM to run it, because I am not at the table with them after all. And I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, in spirit.
Yes.
No.
You should be the voices inside everyone's head.
That's right.
Yes, it
When
should be like
You should be
GMs
haunting them.
I should
When
be the
GMs
Disco
go to
Elysium
open their
narrator.
mouth to game master, it's your voice that comes out.
Like whenever
Oh,
they make
yeah.
like some sort of like trivial
Yes.
check,
Yes.
they just hear me
voice
like,
mod.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Just sell your voice.
stand in
Yeah.
the darkness. The torch begins to sputter. You hear something in the dark there with you, but you can't see it. Suddenly, in the corner, there is a pitter-patter of steps, of footsteps. Something is in the room with you, but invisible. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
okay.
it. Right.
But see, here's the thing, you guys. Every
That
order
we're playing
of
in the
Cold-
morning, right, AK?
Yeah. Every order of
I'm not playing in
Soulblight.
the light.
Every order of Soulblight comes possessed by Laurin.
Yes.
But it's a limited time special, you guys. So you better get on it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how many phylacteries can you possibly
Exactly.
put in? That's
Inhabit
a
at
lot
one
of
time.
Amazon. It's a lot of
That
Amazon
feels
product.
like
Yeah.
as dangerous of a question as how quickly can he kill us. So don't ask that. That is a cursed question, Matthew.
All right, I will.
Man.
How quick I can kill you?
I didn't ask it. I was drawing a parallel, a line,
Okay.
or something.
If I wanted to, I could kill you all with nary a word.
Immediately. Yeah, I'm very aware.
Visceral.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna be great.
Our word kill
Oh
is
my
just
God.
a singular scream of myself.
Yes.
We're gonna be fine.
I'm so
My
excited.
voice
We're
just
gonna-
totally broke
Yeah.
when I tried to say fine.
I certainly have become more excited about tomorrow. I hope that the people watching have got, because we of course will share this once we have recorded.
There was a
So
question
I
about
hope
that
you're getting excited.
earlier in the chat.
Yeah.
We will not be live streaming it. We will
Yeah.
be
I mean,
recording
I don't-
it
I
and
don't-
we will put it on the channel.
I don't know if we're live streaming and and really mainly live streaming is because I would like to have this for posterity, and I've had a miserable time on FMUX today.
Me too.
It has been very, very
Super huge lag.
It's been very
Yeah.
glitchy. So I would rather, super lag and so we won't be
how long it
using
is.
this tomorrow. So unfortunately, we won't be streaming it, but we will release it.
We'll release the
Especially.
F.
Yeah.
One thing I will
Yes.
say about tomorrow's game as well, it will not be quite the usual way I would run Shadowdark, specifically because it is, after all, a sort of horror adventure that I intend to play. So there are some things that I've done already that I wouldn't do in a normal Shadowdark game. A little bit less randomness, so a little bit Rayleigh, just a little bit, not too much. Don't worry about it. But there'll be enough room for you guys to do all sorts of stuff. I hope we actually have enough time
Rayleigh.
tomorrow to get through it.
Matt,
We really
you want to
do.
rephrase that?
We love getting railed.
I don't think
like
you
Rayleigh.
will.
I don't think I need
my.
to rephrase that. I really don't. I don't think I need to rephrase. I think y'all know
DT,
what
I need
I'm
you to
talking
cut
about.
that. I need you to clip that. Make it short. Right? Get on it.
Rail
You're
us.
first, folks.
No.
Pocket Dimension loves railing.
It is. It is an amazing thing, Shadowdark's ability to be so random on almost every single page. But I think that we found when we were running this that also does sometimes make it more difficult to kind of create a vibe or a feeling or get the players exactly where you need for them to be for the high points.
But that's also the beautiful thing, after all.
accept
Every table does it differently, and also
Railroading.
rulings over rules, after all. So there's that,
Right.
which is a beautiful, natural thing of all TTRPGs.
Yeah. Right.
Amazing.
True.
Wow.
Weird.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for today.
And with that,
You're welcome.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
This
it's
is so
now
much
about 7 p.m. where you are. What are you
It's
going to
8
do?
p.m.
Is it-
actually.
8 p.m.
It's 8 p.m.
Okay.
So is it time for dinner, or have you already?
Yes, it is. And luckily, I've already pre-cooked and everything else. What I'll be doing
good.
today is I'll be doing the last bit of preparations for tomorrow. I'll be
Okay.
practicing my voices specifically, and aside from that, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
then
you
you
so
will- then you will
much. Yeah.
Thank
hang
you.
by your feet.
Incredible.
7 above and 1 below.
7
below.
above, 1 Lord
Until-
below. O Lord of chasms, to whom we bow. Guidance
boy.
we seek and beg and need. 7 above, 1 lord below, to the shadow dark off we go.